What's going on with you today, family? Dreadlife 101 back at y'all today with another video. How y'all doing? I'm doing well myself. So today all we're gonna do is discuss this issue that we're having with our dreads. If you can relate to this, you probably search for the title. If you can't relate to this, you might have somebody in your life or have seen some situations that may reflect on this. But more or less, all today is just going to be a discussion about dreadlock product buildup. The stuff that we're using in our hair, the shampoos, the waxes, the gels, all that stuff. Is it good? Is it bad? This, that, and the other. So y'all ready? Let's go. So what is dreadlock product buildup? Basically, all it is after you put that gel or that wax or the shampoo or moisturizer or conditioner in your hair, and even though you washed it out, most of that stuff doesn't come out, especially if you're getting your hair retwisted with the gels and the waxes. Obviously, you're going to leave that in there for about a month or even two, and that stuff is just going to soak into your hair further and further the more that moisture is added to it. So even though you think that that stuff is gone, there's always some type of residue behind of any of the products that you're putting into your hair, especially once you allow your hair to lock. Your hairs aren't loose anymore. They're actually wrapping around each other, creating a band around the outer layer of hairs. Protecting that inside stuff is where you're going to find all that condensation buildup and all that nasty product buildup at. So the real question of this should be, is product buildup bad? Yes. Why is it bad? Because the residue of that is going to lead and cause more moisture to be brought in. Moisture leads to bacteria, mold. Obviously, mold, bacteria, after not being taken care of after a while, is going to lead to your hair dying off, breaking off, and actually damaging your dreadlocks. All that hard work and that long period of time you might have waited to get these nice set of locks to where you want them, and then you turn around and lose them because of moisture, mold, bacteria buildup. All that stuff plays a part hand in hand with each other. So a few signs you can look out for to know if your hair is actually going bad, or if you have these signs or symptoms, is going to be crunchy hair. There shouldn't be a point in time, whether you just got your hair done or it's been 2 months, that your hair should be crunchy. Like if you bend it, it should bend freely. If you pull it up, it should drop. If you pull on it, it should be springy. It should have life to it. If your hair is crunching, that's not good. That means that your hair most likely is already dead or in the state of dying. And there's nothing really you can do about that but wait for it to get longer and just kind of protect it, or you can actually go ahead and just cut that part out. So if your hair looks grayish or whitish, or has a lot of white flakes at the base or wherever you retwist your new growth at, is most likely that the product that you're using to retwist your hair with is leaving behind a lot of residue and a lot of glue type of material inside of that product. That's a no-go. You don't want that, because you don't want glue in your hair. Glue obviously is going to restrict the circulation that your hair is trying to receive from bringing in moisture, bringing in just the natural balance and vibrance to the color and the strength of the hair. It's going to restrict all that. So that's one sign you can look for if you don't realize you have product buildup already. Another huge one that is kind of the instant sign or symptom that somebody has product buildup in their hair is going to be that funky smell. If you're laying down on your pillow, or you might be standing next to someone and they keep thinking that they're smelling mold or like a wet basement or a wet clothes smell, check your hair. And that's probably the beginning signs of it, is when you start to get that weird funky smell. Usually by the end, it's already done its job. That material, that bacteria, that mold on the inside has already ceased to exist, and there's really nothing you can do after that other than cutting it out of your hair. So what can we do about this? Since we already identified some signs and symptoms that we might have a large or a small amount of product buildup inside of our dreads. If it's the early parts and you don't feel like it's too bad, what you can do is a ACV, apple cider and vinegar, and baking soda rinse. That's the most natural products that you can grab. Most people have them in their house. You just go do that, fill up the sink with water or a tub or a bucket of water, Usually want to use something like a sink size or like a small bucket size, just so that you can contain all those products inside of somewhere small and then actually use it on your head without diluting all of that. Unless you actually want to fill up a bathtub full of apple cider vinegar and baking soda, which I think that's a little bit too much, but feel free to do that if you feel like you can do that. So the apple cider vinegar part of that is going to help kill off any bacteria that may have started or that may be trying to thrive inside of your hair, and as well as it'll correct the actual pH balance that's on your scalp and in your hair. So if your diet is off, you're not drinking a lot of water, it'll kind of help bring things back to a normal balance as far as your hair and its balance of life trying to thrive on its own. The baking soda is going to act like a cleaner and help pull out any of those extra glues, the gels, the petroleums, the waxes. It'll help break down some of that stuff so it can actually dissolve and come out of your hair. Now just be careful that you're not adding too much baking soda to that and it's actually going into your hair. You want to use it as a cleaner, so don't get crazy and dump a box of baking soda on your head. You know what I'm saying? That would make sense. So if you're serious about this and you really are concerned about this product buildup, and you catch it early enough, this is what I would recommend: is plan on changing your regimen. Plan on doing some research on new shampoos, new conditioners, lighter moisturizers, water-based. Get away from the gels. Stay away from the waxes, because the wax, you have to heat up wax. Have you ever lit a candle and watched the candle? Like before you heat it up, it's just wax. So that goes in your hair. That's not good. That serves you no purpose. Your hair is gonna lock into a dread either way. So you don't need wax for your hair. Trust me, white, black, Puerto Rican, you don't need wax. I'm telling you. So lighter the product, the better the hair. Stick to the basic oils, keratin oil, tea tree oil, stuff like that can help stimulate the scalp. And then go and find you a nice moisturizer, something light, but something that actually adds moisture to your hair when you want it to add moisture and you know that it's not going to stick around. Take your time. If you have facial hair, I would probably practice on my facial hair first just to see how it is. If it's good enough and light enough to use on your face before you go out before the day, and you don't feel sticky or it's not sogging you down, that's probably a decent product to use on your hair, on your locks. Me, myself, I use this Shea Butter Miracle. I use that on my actual hair, like this part of my hair. I don't retwist with my roots for that. I retwist my roots with the coconut oil or the mango, which is basically the same thing, minus or more just a few smell good products, but really ain't nothing to that. But make sure you guys check out these signs and symptoms of product buildup before it gets too dragged out, before you start actually losing hair. You're gonna notice it. You're gonna be the first one. If you go get in the shower, you get out of the shower and your hair still smells funky, we need to do some maintenance, right? Make sure you like if you like the video. Make sure you comment, hit me up, subscribe. Dread Life 101. I'ma holla at you.